Hello, and welcome to another Monday night stream. As always, just going to do a quick test of the volume to make sure it's working. Yep, it's okay, good. It's been a while since I've done some director's commentary. Program Low, welcome. Obviously with the recent batch of new episodes, new chapters, we've got some commentary to catch up on. So that's what I'm going to be doing this evening. Chapter 23 and 24. We'll do 25 and 26 next week, or next time at least. I don't want to do them all in one go. How's it going? Pretty good. How about you? I was looking at this. It's nice to see this particular frame, or this from this moment, still, because you can admire the detail on the skip ray blast boat and the motion blur in the background. And you can get a sense that it really was flying pretty fast. I'm glad you're doing okay. So we're going to give people about 10 minutes to join us. We'll do a volume check. Make sure that I've got the volume just right for this, so you can hear me talking over the videos. What do you think of last week's Ahsoka episode? I guess it's safe to talk about that now. I assume everyone who wants to watch it, who's listening to the stream, has probably already done so. It was nice to see Thrawn live action at last. Obviously, Thrawn's a big part of this series, so yeah, I enjoyed it. Looking forward to seeing what he gets up to this week. Somebody X, hello, welcome. It's been a while since I've seen you. House Tradies, thank you so much for the super chat. Keep up with the amazing work. You're keeping Star Wars alive. Thank you so much. I do appreciate the support there. And also a Dune fan as well, so I like the reference in your name there. But yeah, thank you. I do appreciate that. I'm going to be doing some director's commentary on chapter 23 and 24. So I'm just going to be talking about the each one. Obviously starting with 23. And I've already been admiring the still of the skip ray. I was using some models from X-Wing Alliance, and they're okay for the distance shots, but with this chase scene I felt like they were really not up to the quality I wanted. I mean, you had these really realistic looking trees and landscapes, and then you had a really blocky ship from a video game that's nearly 25 years old. So luckily I found this model which looks a lot better. I changed jobs, so I can't come as much. It's morning here in Sydney and I'm normally at work. That makes perfect sense. Of course you can always watch the streams afterwards. As soon as I finish, they get uploaded automatically to the channel, so you can catch up with anything you've missed. But it's good to see you today. Hope you're doing well. Give people another 5 minutes. Now, chapter 23 was a while ago since I released it, and 24 is obviously a much more recent one. It's taken a little while to get that done, but I do remember having a good time making 23. But yeah, Ahsoka it's very intriguing, the story, where it's going. It's obviously very different from Heir to the Empire, because obviously Thrawn's not taken control of the Empire yet. So if they are going to adapt the Heir to the Empire or Thrawn trilogy storyline, where they are at the moment of the story is before it begins. So I think the season will end with him in the main galaxy, but we'll have to wait for future shows to see what happens next. Hoppy, Red 11 standing by. It's good to see you, as always. RG72, your work brings me happiness. I remember playing Star Wars RPG. I wish I'd had a chance to play that game. Unfortunately, I didn't know anyone. Well, I didn't even understand the concept of tabletop RPGs when that was published. I imagine my school friends would have probably been into it if we'd known about it, but sadly not. Shoya, hello, welcome. So have you seen The Fifth Element? The casino ship in that reminds me of the Corvander. That's a great film. I remember watching that for the first time when it was released on VHS, which shows you how far back that goes. And I remember it was a fun space adventure, but everything was so unique and different, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's been a while since I watched it. Maybe I should do something about that, because it is a really good film. Last time I watched it, I remember thinking it holds up really well compared to more modern films, but I guess it's because they used a lot of practical effects in it. Love your work. Consider it more canon than Disney Star. That's very kind of you. Thank you. There's a real nice steel box for The Fifth Element. Is there really? I'll have to look into that. It's so silly, really fun. Looks great. Yeah. Fifth Element is... I watched it so many times and got some of my friends to watch it as well. I mean, my friend's sister, who wasn't really into sci-fi stuff, she really enjoyed it because it had that silly side to it. And she'd often ask me to take my copy around so she could see it again. The RPG came from West End Games. Yeah, I've heard about it now, but at the time, it wasn't something I knew about, which is a shame. It would have been interesting to have had that as part of my childhood. I do Timothy Zahn drew a lot of content from that game, and later I believe he wrote some of the content for some of the later books in that game series. Are you still taking a different photo each day? I like those videos you make them. Yeah, so what I do is it's not a photo. I record 1 second of every day, and it usually ends up being more than 1 second, and I'll trim it down. But yeah, I still do that. I will be releasing this year's video at the end of the year. Today's shot actually was from the park I went to sit in while I was waiting for a bus. I had to go and get some groceries. Came out and saw my bus disappearing in the distance because I just missed it. So I sat in a nearby park for an hour. It was a nice relaxing afternoon, and I got a shot of the trees, because I thought that was a nice memorable moment for the day. But yeah, I'll be posting that at the end of the year for all of you to enjoy. some point I need to go back and watch all of those videos again from the beginning, because last year was the 10th. I've been doing it for more than a decade now. I saw it was an interview with some guy who did it, and I thought, what a really good idea. And luckily I saw the interview just in time to be able to start doing it for I think I must have been the 1st of January on the year I started doing it, and I thought that's a really good idea, so I started doing it then, and I just carried on doing it. Alright, so I gotta go. Thank you for the special project. Well, thank you for watching. You can catch up with the stream afterwards. Yeah, so thank you for stopping by, and hope to see you again. Wolf. Okay, I'm going to ask these questions before we start with the commentary. Good work, but I have a question. Isn't Chimera EU ISD2? And I see the ISD1. So I was kind of limited by the Star Destroyer models available to me, and they were either really basic and blocky, or so massively detailed that if you try and do anything with the animation software, it really struggles, because they just got so much detail in them. So I came across a file collection of Star Wars ship models that are used by modders to put into various games. So, you know, for Homeworld and all kinds of other games like that. And they just the right balance between detail, but not so detailed that the animation software I use, iClone, struggles. And yeah, I think they're used in the Empire at War as well. So for Empire War mods. So that's what I've been using, and the Chimera, when I found the pack, it had the Chimera texture on it, and I thought, that's useful. I understand why in Rebels they did that, so when you have the big fleets, the audience knows which ship is the Chimera, and I want to do exactly the same thing here, because obviously there's lots of fleets, shots and battles, and I wanted the audience to know which is the Chimera, so I used the one with the design on it, which is of course the ISD1. So I hope that answers your question. What was first just a dream has become a frightening reality for those who may oppose us. That was a great first line. I went to a Comic-Con dressed as Thrawn, cosplaying as Thrawn on Saturday, and I said that as I walked through the door. Had to. Geek Soldier, thank you so much. As always, it's good to see you. Love Corin Horn with the cameos in Chapter 27. Hopefully someone makes I, Jedi and Hand of Thrawn duology to make the perfect post Return of the Jedi resolution between the New Republic and Imperial Remnant. I had the idea of those cameos nearly a year ago, and once the idea was there, I thought they have to go in. So I'm glad that you spotted them. Because yeah, I had fun putting them in. Well, the makeup for Thrill must have been intense. I had to get up at about 6:30 in the morning to start painting myself. By the end of the day, a lot of it had rubbed off around my neck, which is a problem. But got to hang out with some of the 501st. I'm not a 501st member, but they were pleased to see a Thrawn. And that was fun. I also scared lots of kids. That's also fun. Thanks for the answer. Oh, you're welcome. I try to answer the questions as best as I can. We're at school. I hope everyone appreciated. What do you think of his execution? Well, I enjoyed his live-action debut. I think they may have overdone the makeup a little bit on his head. I don't mean the blue, I mean like the... Because the animated Rebels Thrawn, he's got some ridges on the side of his face. I think they overdid that on the live-action one. But otherwise, yeah, I was happy with that, and look forward to the next episode. How did the red eye contacts treat you? I cheated and didn't use contacts. They don't agree with me. But I've seen other Thrawn cosplayers, and their trick is to paint red around their eyes. So I did that. Also, I painted my eyelids red so I could close my eyes, and from a distance it looks like I've got red eyes. Imagine you'll be busy with the sequels, but I think Glove of Darth Vader animation would be hilarious. Now that's a book I haven't read for a long time. I made a special edition chapter 2. Lots of moustaches, well of course. I actually didn't notice his forehead ridges. Yeah, the forehead ridges is kind of subtle, but it's the side of his face. They've put too much there. But like they did with Ahsoka, they've refined her prosthetics from when she first appeared in The Mandalorian. So I imagine future appearances of Thrawn, they'll adjust him likewise. The actor had a really interesting smirk, like he was having a lot of fun. Yeah, I think he enjoys playing that kind of character. He voiced him obviously in Rebels, but that's just animated. But if you watch season 3 of Sherlock, he's the main villain in that as well, and he's very Thrawn-like in that, which is probably that's actually how he got the role of Thrawn. Is Dave Filoni was watching Sherlock and thought that's Thrawn, and I think he made the right choice. Not the body shame, but the actor has a belly. Actually, he doesn't. I think they padded him out as well. Lars Mikkelsen is not that well. He's a very skinny man, unless of course lockdown hadn't been too kind to him. Have you seen Mikkelsen in the Star Wars fan film Shrouded Destiny? I have not. I'm going to write that down and look it up later. Did you do red eyes for your cosplay? I didn't have contacts, so I painted red around my eyelids to kind of cheat the effect. And then on a couple of photos I photoshopped some red glowing eyes in. Alright, so we're 20 minutes into the stream and I haven't actually started what I set out to do. To me, the yellow tiles in his rank black look too orange. There's a weird patch on his uniform, looks like a blaster burn. Yeah, so his uniform does have damage to it, and I think that goes along with the state of the ship and the stormtroopers, because obviously they've not had access to Imperial facilities for 9 years, and so yeah, his uniform's a little bit worn in places. Do you think we'll ever see Heir to the Empire Luke in a Dave Filoni film? It's a good question. I imagine that Luke will make an appearance somehow. I can't see a link. Is it on your channel? I haven't posted any pictures yet. That's why you can't see them. I actually don't remember. Do they say in the book his eyes glow? Yes, they do. Yeah, glowing red eyes is how they are described. Oh, and on your channel. Okay. So I was misreading the conversation there. Anyway, I'm going to get started on this because otherwise we won't finish it. I'm going to be doing director's commentary on chapter 23 and 24. We're going to start with 23 because we've got the recent batch of new episodes. Finally got some new episodes to talk about and do commentary on. So we're going to do 2 tonight and then 2 next time. Sherry, hello, welcome. It's good to see you. You arrived just in time. Star Wars Fanimations, welcome. Alright, let's get started. Let me know if the volume's too loud and you can't hear me. I can adjust it accordingly. Let's set it to that for now and see how it goes. There we go. I drew a lot of inspiration from Top Gun Maverick for this sequence. And this sunset skies are photos I took. I saw some stunning sunsets about 2 years ago, so I just took loads and loads of photos, and it turned out they're really useful for this sequence. The book describes the chimeras being visible on Luke's sensors, but I thought having a little tiny Star Destroyer up in the sky. I can't really hear the chapter. Well, you're supposed to hear me, not the chapter. Yeah, I can adjust it a little bit. Hope he has some stuff that makes your eyes red. I don't want to know. So I had a lot of questions about this version of the Imperial March. It's from Solo. When he is on the spaceport in Corellia. And why won't this... There we go. It's when he's on the spaceport on Corellia and he signs up to escape being arrested. You can hear it playing in the background. Do you do your own modelling or find them online or have someone work? A combination of finding them and making my own. Renee, hello, welcome. So the characters... iClone has this side tool called Character Creator, and it does exactly what it sounds like. So that's how all these characters came from. But Stormtroopers were imported. I can't remember who created them offhand. But all the characters where you see their faces, like Thrawn and Card and Ace there in the background, is Character Creator. I modelled this Thrawn on how he appeared in the very old TIE Fighter video game. Because that's the first time I had a clear look at Thrawn. Obviously he's on the cover of Heir to the Empire, but it's a tiny picture in that. But you see him quite clearly in TIE Fighter, so that's the image that stuck in my head. And so that's the one I wanted to model him on. I love Ace. He looks like such a normal dude. That's the idea I was going for. I mean, that's the impression you get from him. General Kenobi. Ghent, based on his appearance in the comic, the graphic novel. I went to his Wikipedia page and there aren't that many pictures of him. He's in lots of Timothy Zahn's books, but he's not appeared really anywhere else. So he's got blue hair and some symbols on his head, which I don't think showed up quite as clearly as they should have, but never mind. I saw you saw Thrawn too. Really liked his look in the book when he's younger with the Chiss uniform. Yeah, I like the Chiss uniform picture that we've seen. Always wondered about Ghent. Reminds me of an elf from Lord of the Rings. Yeah, well, I can see that. He had long blue hair. I thought, well, I'll go with that. Obviously he's young, so I made him have a sort of round baby face as much as I could. This was fun to do. So these outside areas, someone had gone into a forest and used, I believe it's an iPad, to 3D scan the environment around them and create these models. So I thought they would look so realistic because they'd done that, because obviously it is a real place. And luckily they put the models up online to be used, and here we go. I love the shot, look how it looks like miniatures. Yeah, that's kind of the look I was going for. Capture that feel of the original trilogy. Something you nailed I loved in the book comic is how squirrely Card is about keeping his secrets and how he really honours his word. Yeah, that's one of the things that makes him such an intriguing character. He's fun to play as well, because I voice him. I have a lot of fun voicing Card. I always liked the character, but doing this has made me appreciate him so much more than I already did. Did you have to mocap the Stormtrooper walk? I did some of them, but then longer walks, I don't have a lot of space, so I use stock animations on the... There's a walk generator in Icon as well, which is quite useful. I did the motion capture for Luke and Mara though. You're a good voice actor. Well, thank you, that's very kind of you. This forest is another 3D scan that someone did. There's a picture behind on a sphere, which is another forest. I took that myself in a 360 image, but it's just an image, it's not a model. Went for a walk in the forest with some friends sometime last year, and I thought this is going to be perfect for these Merca scenes. So that my friends were luckily very patient with me as I took these pictures, and they kind of made sure they were, but they're out of shot behind other trees and things. So I'm glad that my friends were okay with me doing that. She has a poor attitude. Yeah, it kind of works though. She really doesn't like him. Did you change Luke's voice actor? I didn't notice, but I thought he had a different credit recently. Yeah, Matt Finish, he's a very talented guy. But he needed to step back from doing quite as many roles as he was doing before. So luckily I found Master Luke 1986. So this is him doing that. Are you the one who voices Talon Card? Yes, I am. She's got her reasons, but she comes around after a while. Yeah. I think Elizabeth, who voices Mara, does such a great job at capturing that snippiness and the dislike of Luke. And if you listen, you got the Vortska growling there. I thought it sounded familiar. Yeah, I mean, if I'm talking over the top of it, it's going to sound like it. I like her Sarah Connor outfit. Yeah, it's based on the Mara Jade outfit that we see in the comics. I believe that's where that particular design originated, and of course it's stuck because that's what she wears everywhere. And if you see a Mara Jade cosplayer, it's more likely than not to be wearing that outfit rather than any of the other Mara outfits we've seen. Would Talancar talking to Pillion be fun to do? There is a scene, chapter 3, where I do that. They're talking when the Chimera first arrives at Merca. I was still working on Pellion's voice at that point, so it wasn't quite as gravelly as he is now. It was a little bit weird talking to myself, but what I did is I recorded one and then the other. I didn't do the scene in one take and switch between characters. If you ever need more voices, I'm available. Well, thank you. If I need more voices, I'll put the call out on the channel. So thank you. I do appreciate the offer. The cat suit is fun outfit to cosplay. So you've cosplayed Mara, have you? Speaking of Luke actors, it's Mark Hamill's birthday today. Well, can't imagine he's watching this, but happy birthday to Mark Hamill. Design work in the comics is incredible. I have to agree. I've gone through the comics to as reference. Some things I've used, some things I didn't. The Shin from Ahsoka series gives you some Mara Jade vibes. I can see where you're going with that. She kind of reminds me of... I'm trying to think. There is a Star Wars character she reminds me of, but I can't think of who it is right now, and it's not Mara. Saris from Jedi Knight, I think. I watched this the other day with Mark Hamill. I don't think I've seen that. Crazy Cowboy. Yeah, does it sound familiar? One thing I like with your voice actors is it's very international. Yeah, that was part of the fun as well. I mean, Star Wars is a huge galaxy, and in all the official stuff they have voices and accents from all over the place, all over the real world, to sell this idea that there's many planets and people talk differently across all of them. And to capture the feel of Star Wars, I wanted to do that. I actually just translated the original Ewok movie into Mandalorian. That must have been quite an interesting challenge. I saw a meme that Shin was the... Yes. I love the exchange between Card and Han in 24. Well, we're about to get to that. I'm looking forward to talking about that. Alright. Yeah, let's get on with 24. So let me load it up one moment. There was actually a continuation of her story and legend. She became reported. Yeah, I remember. It's the... I think it was the Black Fleet Crisis that she was in. I didn't realise that was her until long after I read the book. Alright, are we still here? Can you hear me? Okay, I don't know if how much of that disappeared. OBS crashed as I was switching over to chapter 24. I'm just loading that back up now. Please bear with me a moment. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me. I'm not surprised you can't see anything yet. I loaded up the wrong... There we go. Okay, you should be able to see it any moment now. That was kind of annoying, but I'm glad you're all still here. Excellent. It's back. Okay. I do apologise about that. I'm not quite sure why it crashed. It shouldn't have, but we're all still here. I'm going to have a quick drink of water and then we will get started on chapter 24. Those colours are awesome. This colour scheme was actually chosen on one of the streams. You guys were very helpful in helping me get these right. Okay. I thought my internet went out. No, luckily your internet's fine. Okay, so let's get started with 24 before anything else crashes. Right, so here we go. Again, let me know if the volume's alright. This was a fun scene to do. It's quite a long one, so it's interesting to try and make it interesting, especially the motion capture. But my process is to put together a rough version of the audio so I can listen to it as I'm doing the motion capture, so I can get the timing of the animations right for each character. I love this set every time it appears, great detail. Why, thank you. It's one I made myself. Wanted to keep it fairly simple. It's the Great Hall, and there's described as a tree in the middle. So I thought, well, the tree's going to have to go up to the roof, so there's a hole in the roof. And of course tables around for them to eat and sit at, or sit and eat at. If you're referring to Ghent, that's how he looks in the graphic novels. I wonder if he ever came back to the base after Thrawn got rooked. I don't believe he did. I think after he abandoned this base, he kept himself a bit mobile. I guess after this incident with Thrawn, he realised having one base specifically was perhaps not the best move for a smuggler. Do I spy upon a plant? Yes, you did. I believe you're the one that convinced me to put it there. Master Luke, welcome. We're just talking about you. And as the voice of Luke Skywalker. This is where Han starts to get suspicious. I've really enjoyed doing the motion capture for Han. That moment the shot and the amount of detail on the set is cool. Why, thank you. I had fun putting the base together. And I point it every time. I love to put that detail. That's my contribution. You've made many contributions to this project. I like for the thumbnail of this chapter, I have Card in the middle, Thrawn on one side, Han on the other, and Card's just having the worst day of his life because all of this is coming at him. This is one of the most fun scenes I've had to work on because of this. Just the whole conversation is so much fun. Um, but yeah, definitely Card's not having a good day. You do a good job in putting the cactus in. Why, thank you. It's amazing how good the voice acting is. That's very kind of you to say. We have one of the voice actors here. Master Luke is here in the chat. He voices Luke Skywalker. I've forgotten Luke only has one working hand for the rest of the book. I know your favourite parts of... What are your favourite parts of the series, Darth? I know Space Battle is one of your favourites. What else? Anything with Thrawn in. That's fun to do. That's a good question. I mean, there's so many elements of this series I enjoy doing. Oh, here we go. Just talking about Thrawn. I really appreciate all the work you and the cast put into this. Why, thank you. I love that reframing of Heir to the Empire, Town Card's worst day ever. It really is, though. It's like New Republic on one side, Empire on the other. No way out. I gave Wikipedia a little cameo appearance here. I had an interaction with them on Twitter, and they were kind of intrigued by the project, and I promised I'd put them in. And instantly, it is the page for Heir to the Empire, as in the book. I had to translate it, or I had to switch it to the Aurebesh font, but then I made it just out of focus anyway. Wait, you talk to the Wikipedia admin. I don't know if it's the admin that responds on Twitter, but I can't remember exactly how the conversation started, but it was something about Heir to the Empire, and I mentioned this and had a brief chat, and I said that I'd put them in somewhere that made sense, and what made sense to me was here in Thrawn's chamber. You got Thrawn's theme building in the background. I love this piece of music. I'm hoping the Ahsoka soundtrack will have more of this for me to use, because even though I like this a lot, I've used it so many times throughout the series. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a fresh take on it. That's awesome. They should promote your work. Every Star Wars fan needs to see your cast. Well, that's very kind of you. I do appreciate any time someone promotes this, shares the links, tells their friends. Kevin Kiner is a great composer. He really is. It's frustrating to me that they never released the soundtrack for Rebels Season 3 and 4, because I would have used the Thrawn's theme so much. Had more options to play with, because obviously there are more takes of it that in the series that we never got released officially. We got some Stormtrooper transports leaving there. Nice little reference to the X-Wing video games. So Aves is voiced by one of my local friends, who is the one I instantly I went to the convention with at the weekend. And there he is, the man doing the voice of Talon-Karrde himself. Yeah, I'm right here. I should cosplay as Talon-Karrde at some point. Though I feel like I'd need the rest of the group as well for the idea to really be sold. So at least on Mara Jade anyway. Again, you guys helped the lighting on that scene. This is where I got to figure out how to use fire as an effect in Omniverse. I have a look outfit, but conventions are not in my schedule. Well, that's fair enough. Would the Star Destroyer see the fire? The Star Destroyer leaves. As soon as the transports are gone, they have launched. The Star Destroyer has left. Alright, and that's it for chapter 24. Now, pausing it, I'm not touching anything else because I don't want it to crash again. Not that we're watching any more tonight. Besides Thrawn, do you have a favourite Star Wars book? Well, I do enjoy everything by Timothy Zahn. I also like the X-Wing series and I, Jedi. So I guess those are the non-Timothy Zahn Thrawn books. Thoughts on Shadow Empire? I enjoyed Shadows of the Empire, but it wasn't my favourite book. I like these ones better. But it was a good story, a good way to fill in the gap between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. One day I'll read it again. The Crystal Star. So my friend who voices Winter really wants me to do Crystal Star. And maybe one day I'll just give her the script and say, here you go. You're voicing characters in this. But yeah, Shadow of the Empire, it was good. At some point I need to read it again. X-Wing books are good but short. You say that, but the first X-Wing book is 40 chapters. Compared to this one, which is 32. Tell her you have a trilogy to finish. Yeah. I know that I've done some April Fool's jokes where I've said that the Crystal Star is going to be the next project. I even made a poster at one point, which is recreating the book cover, which I think is what gave her the idea. She could voice all the characters in real time and animate that. I will pass that on to her and see what she says. There are so many good Star Wars books out there. I hope that other fan filmmakers and animators pick them up. There was trailer for a Shadows of the Empire fan film. It's going to be live action. I think they were going to do a crowdfunding campaign, and I keep meaning to look up to see whatever happened to that, because it was a while ago since I saw it. And doing a book like that live action, that's a bold attempt, bold plan. So hopefully they pull it off. Did make me wonder what it would take to make this live action. I heard it got cancelled. Oh, that's a shame. I guess it is a very ambitious project, so sadly I would not be surprised, but it would have been nice to see. I'm doing mine with Blender and Unreal Engine. Well, what's your project? Ever think of doing comics like Dark Empire? Someone else was doing a Dark Empire animated fan film. Again, that's another project I need to check up on. I believe they had 2, maybe 3 installments released last time I checked on it. I'd love to see the Bounty Hunter Wars and Jedi Academy trilogy in CG or live action. If not, I'll eventually try it with action figures. So I'm going to encourage you to do it with the action figures, because then I get to watch it and have the experience you guys have watching Heir to the Empire, but instead I get to watch that and know what it feels like. So yeah, go and do it, because I can't do all of the books. There's too many of them. So I want other people to pick up the other books and turn them into fan films. So you may regret saying that in the comments, but yeah, go and do it, because I want to see it. Especially doing with action figures, you can set up shots and whatnot and use it as previous to animate it. That's also true. If you use some of the Black Series action figures, they're really good quality. If anyone needs Luke, here I am. Yep, I will say that if you need Luke for your fan films, talk to Master Luke, because he is excellent. I've got most of the figures in vehicles for it. Well, there you go. So the question is, which one would you do first, Bounty Hunter Wars or the Jedi Academy trilogy? I did recently get into toy photography with the Black Series Stormtroopers. I took them on a trip to North Wales. 2 Stormtroopers that I bought, and I took pictures of them in various places, like at a castle and on the beach and so on. And I had people think they were real people in costume. That link will take you up to the Dark Empire. Is up to partway through book 3 of the 6 comic run. Okay, so your link didn't. YouTube is really weird about posting links. I don't think I can control it. I've looked into it before, but it seems to not let me allow people to post links. So it must be an automatic thing, which is really annoying, because obviously links like that would be very welcome here. But I guess we'll have to look it up on the YouTube search algorithm thingy. For a Jedi Academy trilogy, since it's got the OT characters like Kip Duran's arc, showing him break his own bones with the Force and cramming into a mesh pods will be interesting. Just don't destroy the action figure as you're doing that. Or if you have to, do that scene as the very last one, because you'll need the scene. You'll need the figure for the other scenes. I think just do one scene to start off. I always wanted to do a scene for Black Fleet Crisis where Akbar talks to Drayson. Yeah, that's what I did with Heir to the Empire. I did Chapter 1 as a test project, never thinking it would go beyond that. So starting off with one scene is the way to go. Master Luke, thank you for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to have you here. May the Thrawn be with you. No toys were harmed in the making of this fan projection. Good. But yeah, start small, one scene, and go from there. See what happens. Legacy Comics would be great for a fan film. Yeah, and lots of flexibility with characters, because you know they're all new characters, so you don't have to worry about matching their voices with the original cast, except for when Luke appears. But of course, Master Luke offered his services before he left us this evening, so that's Luke covered for you. Apparently the YouTube algorithm typically delete links in the comments all videos because it's some spam. I can see why. I guess spam bots are a problem, and so they've ruined it for people who legitimately want to share links. Found Akbar model for post the other day on share CGI. That's good. You have to find an Akbar model. I can't remember where I found mine from. I need to re-import him actually, because that when I did it before, I couldn't make his mouth move, and it would be nice if I could. So iClone's character importing features are more advanced now, so maybe if I can do that. I've been wanting to make a fan film entirely in Mandoa, but my animation skills aren't the best, so it may evolve into an audio drama. Well, see, an audio drama works just as well too. You ever listen to the Star Wars radio show? I did, for all three of the original films. I know that Return of the Jedi was released long after the first two, because the first two were released around the time of the movies, and then Return of the Jedi didn't come along until the special editions. But I did enjoy all three of those. Alright, so I think I'm going to wrap up the stream there, because we've gone through both chapters. Next time we'll be doing chapter 25 and 26. Hard at work on chapter 28. Really pleased with the way it's coming along. Not quite ready to finish it or release it yet. There's still some work left to be done. Well, quite a bit of work left to do on it, but I like where it is at the moment. So yeah, House Atreides and Geek Squadron, thank you so much for the super chats. I do appreciate both of that. You know, your support really means a lot to me, so thank you. As always, it's been great to see you all and to chat with you and to go over these two chapters. I think the amount you released recently is really cool. Yeah, it's nice to be able to release them weekly. I was lucky that chapter 25 and 27 were finished quite some time ago, and then I was able to get 24 and 26 done, and I thought, well, why not? Release them weekly in one go. And alongside Ahsoka as well, because I figured Thrawn would be part of it. Well, he didn't show up until after I finished my batch of episodes, but I guess that's the way it has to be. Anyway, I'm going to head off to bed now, so thank you all for coming. May the Thrawn be with you, and we'll see you all next time. Take care, and good whatever time of day it is for you. Bye.